second ride that just won't wait. My spurs are turning and my hat's on tight. If I hang on, girl, we'll be dancing tonight. You can tell by the way that I walk, I'm a little bow-legged, my mouth's full of jaw. Legs are shaky and my knees are weak. Dust me off, I'll try again next week. Rodeo is what I do. If I hang on tight and make a buck or two, it's what I do. Let's ride.
Good evening and welcome to the legendary Gold Coast Hotel and Casino and National Finals Tonight. Brought to you in part by Devil's Cut, Jim Beam, Red Stag, Coors, Pendleton, Boot Barn, Cooper Tires, Ram Rodeo, Justin Boots, Prefer, Golden Tiger Liniment, the National Cowboy Museum, Good Ride, Wrangler, J.W. Brooks Hats, Montana Silversmiths, Pepsi, and Boyd Gaming. National Finals tonight with 8-time World Champion Bull Rider Donnie Gay, 8-time World Champion Cowboy Joe Beaver, and the men and women of the NFR. Sit back, relax, and enjoy National Finals tonight. And now, here's your host, award-winning television personality, Mr. Dan Miller.
How nice you are, huh? Everybody, welcome on Saturday night to National Finals tonight. Are you glad to be in Las Vegas on Saturday night, huh? Yes! Oh my gosh, these girls are ready down front here. This is show number 60 for us on National Finals tonight, and we're so glad to have you here to share it with us. And we've got lots of prizes to give away to you this evening, lots of things to do, but let's get our stars out here tonight to get things rolling. Two of them back there, both 8-time world champion cowboys. The first one is a bull rider, the best ever. Donnie Gay is here. Donnie, come on out.
All right.
Those girls like you right there.
Best ever?
Well,
is that what you said?
Yeah, I think the best ever for you, yes.
I signed that check.
Did you really? You're a good man. The very best ever, I should say, huh?
I have to pay the guy to brag on me, but what can I say?
I'm worth every penny of it, yep. The other guy is also an 8-time world champion, our good buddy, and been with us for 60 shows. Would you welcome Joe Beaver here this evening? Joe.
Big Joe.
Were you gentlemen aware of that? This is show number 60 that we have done. That's pretty incredible, isn't it?
Well, when you're around two guys easy to get along with us, I thought it was 5 or 6.
Well, yeah, gee.
I keep all these stats and everything. You know.
Stat man, yeah, right.
And then he texts them to us. He's
What
a good
day
man.
is it?
It's Saturday night, huh? Great round tonight. Wasn't it exciting? Everything coming down to the wire. I love it when that happens.
That's how it's supposed to be for the World Championship. It's not supposed to be a gimme. I mean, the guys like it to be a gimme if you're winning it, but Cody Teal sat right here and said the other night that he would sure like to hear the whistle to get his World Championship, or else it was just a gimme. It wasn't a gimme, but every event came down except for one to the last go-around, to the last run, and that sells tickets, and that's good for rodeo.
That's the way it's supposed to be. How many of you were there tonight at the rodeo? Very many of you? Wasn't it great? You were in the crowd with Sarah Palin was there tonight too, huh? Yep, I saw her in the.
Yeah, whenever they had him on the kiss cam.
Did they?
Yeah, they put him on the kiss cam and everything, and her husband just, I don't know what he was thinking. I'm thinking, gosh, I'll stand in for him. They didn't ask me.
For her or him? Oh no, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, I'm with you now.
He just said stand in, didn't he, huh?
Anyway, let me tell you, if you want to participate in the show tonight, it's easy to do. If you have a phone and you can text, unlike some people I know, if you want to text a question up here, we've already had some coming in, guys, so it's going to be good. Here's the phone number if you want to send up a text. It's 702, of course, 582-5638. You'll see it right back over here, and any time during the course of the show, send us a text. Also, I mentioned when I first came out, we have such great prizes. Don't we have great sponsors?
Yes,
now?
we do.
Just
we do.
Keeps
and
growing
every night.
and growing.
It's not like we give them away one time. It's every night.
Every single night.
We give away a slew of prizes every night.
Boots, jeans, guitars.
And it's not like your cell phone bill with all these phantom charges and everything. I mean, it's free.
It's free stuff.
Yeah.
So what I want to tell this lovely lady here that's got that nice high-pitched voice, that if
Me?
when we no. Yours is much higher. We're going out on YouTube and on television. When I say goodbye to them at the end of the show, I want you to all stay here because that's when we will give away the prizes. And we do have boots and jeans and guitars signed by George Strait. We got great prizes to give away tonight. So let's get this thing started. We have a lot to talk about tonight. Round 10 is in the books. It's all done. We've been here for all of those. But in case you were there and didn't get a chance to watch these two handsome fellers on television, they're going to do the winners of round number 10 first for you this evening, starting with bareback riding, Donnie Gay.
All right, well, firing up the rodeo, round number 10, the bareback riding. This is the most physical event in rodeo. J.R. Verzane, this kid comes to his first NFR, won the Canadian Championship, and he comes in here on a high. He's riding really well. Now, wins the go-round, 86.5 points. Bucking horses have been outstanding in both events, bareback and saddle bronc riding. JR really showed him what he's made out of, and I tell you what, you can see a changing of the guard in almost every event.
He looks as fresh on 10 as he did on 2.
That's exactly
right.
And
that's doing something.
And the bareback riding, that's unbelievable.
Steer wrestling, Gabe Ledoux, he looked like he was going to win the average, maybe win a world championship. 3 nights ago, he had a steer stop, missed him, ruined his night, but you know what? What a champion does is they just rebound. Tonight he had a good steer. He makes a great run. Watch this reach out there and grab him. Jason Miller hazes him right into his pocket. Gabe Ledoux is strong. He don't slide him very far. Hooks that nose. Bam. 3.3. Got a good flag, though.
Got a great flag.
Got a good flag.
Yes, he did.
Steer had a leg hung under him. Looked like he was sitting on the toilet, but they flagged him. All right, in the team roping, they had to win the round for Jade Corgle to win the world championship. Second wouldn't do it. What happens? Caleb Driggers, he doesn't have a chance to win it. He just nails the barrier, throws all he's got right there. Now, right here, it's on Jade Corgle. Do you win the world championship or do you miss? He wins the world championship. He gives $50,000 for a 23-year-old horse 1 week before the national finals because he wanted to win the world championship.
Great
story. That's
Cody
commitment.
Cody O, we've seen him win the 10th round so many times. Tonight he had a good calf. He needed to move up in the average. Bam, 7 flat. He chases Billy Etbauer by 2 go-around buckles, I think, now.
Y'all are going to Denver. He's going to get it.
Yeah, oh, man. You know, this might have ruined everything, but when Cody O's in the short in the last round, you do not count it out till he ropes 7 flat. Wins the round. He was here last night, and he was talking about it, and he said, I got to finish strong, and he did.
All right, well, I hope we're not going to barrel racing. Yes, we are. We're going to the barrel racing right there.
Now, that's not nice. You're going to get hit. You meant skipping the
bronc ride. Just in the order.
I'm with you.
Okay. But guess what? I was listening to Charmaine. She said, you know, since kind of rode to the outside, that buckskin horse been trying to push her into the barrel. I mean, like last night, that horse was pushing her coming right down the alley. Makes a great run tonight, wins the go-round. Boyd Gaming Ambassador, I might add. You know, and Carly Pierce, originally from Freedom, Oklahoma. That's headquarters of Frontier Rodeo.
Yes, sir. Jerry Nelson. Bull riding.
Bull riding.
You called it 4 nights ago. He could win every round. He won 2.
Well, you know what? We're just jumping out there. Shane Proctor rides this bull so easy. The reason he's the champion of the world, he was the reigning champ up until just about an hour ago. You know, makes a really good ride. Bull spins into his hand. And what he said was, when I went in the locker room after the performance over, he goes, gosh, he said, if it was 10 more go-rounds, he said, I'd really be looking good right now. But you know what? A little bit, you just jump out there. You do the best you can do. And the guys, from Monday night on, the bull riders really had hell.
They did.
You know, they didn't. I said, you know, you guys didn't show up like you wanted to. But guess what? That's what makes the Wrangler National Finals what it is. And
right.
And I look on Facebook. You know, when you see it on Facebook and stuff, it's supposed to be true, I guess.
You look on Facebook?
Well, yeah.
Stop that. Quit it now.
Well, you know, but I looked on there, and I see these guys going, dang, they didn't ride but one bull last night. So, you know, where are these bull riders
Wait
at?
a minute. Where are those guys at?
They're at home.
Thank you very much. You can't talk crap when you're sitting on the toilet. And that's where they're at. People that talk about how easy the bull riding looks, how easy the team roping looks. I get texts every day from all these experts about how stupid the team roping is.
I made the Texas Circuit Finals team roping one time, and I got excited about the second round until I got a speech from Joe. He said, just settle down, kid.
It's not as easy as it looks.
Long way to go.
In the event.
I always pictured you as a Twitter guy.
I don't know what happened, but
That's all right.
we had the saddle bronc riding, and I just
Cody
want to say
DeMoss.
this: Cody DeMoss, he
10
rode his
for 10.
He rode his 10th bucking horse,
10 for
only
10.
guy to ride all of them. And
we'll show it to
get
you
a
in a minute.
score. He hadn't won a world championship, but had he done that any of 3 or 4 years,
yes,
he would have been a multiple-time world champion. But I am so proud for
Me
him
too.
because you know what? No pretense. I mean, this guy's just a cowboy.
And he's a good guy. You know what I mean? He's a guy that he doesn't promote it, push it, sell it. But he's a guy in the meeting the other day that stood up and said, I got a question. And they said, what is it?
Only reason. This is the only reason. Go ahead, Joe.
He stands up and says, I got a question. They're about to close the meeting. And he says, they say, what is it? And he says, why don't we say a prayer at the national finals? We do it every other rodeo. And they said, no, we'll deal with that later.
We never have done it before.
We haven't done
here.
it. We're not going to. We haven't done it. And he stood back up and he said, doesn't answer my question. Why don't we pray at the national finals? Now, there's a guy that you would never think that and never even go there with him because he doesn't promote, sell, push, none of that. One of the best guys in rodeo. And last year, laid right there in that arena with a broke shoulder in the 7th, 6th, 5th, 6th round, turned the rest of his horses out. But strong face, strong guy, work ethic, healed up, come back, rode 10 for 10. Hats off to Cody DeMoss right there.
That's right. You don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Yeah.
Exactly right.
Wreck tape. It ain't over till it's over.
Let's do this question first, Donnie, because I think that
That's a wreck.
it's going to lead right into it. It's a good question. It sounds silly, but it's a good question. Why don't the clowns, the bullfighters, wear helmets?
They're not sissies.
Guess that answers it why bull riders wear helmets. He never wore one. Did you ever?
No.
Thank you.
Not since Pee Wee football. I'm sorry, but I absolutely hate those helmets. I mean,
Well, I want you to say that after you see this wreck tape.
I absolutely hate helmets.
All right. We put together just a few mishaps here this evening, speaking of helmets. So
I didn't say they were wrong. I just said I hate them.
You hate them. All right. You're kind of crawfishing a little bit now, aren't you, as we get ready to look at this deal?
They're good for some people. You just don't know who, do you?
Right.
Thank you.
Just not for Donnie. Let's take a look at the wrecks from this evening, starting out with the bareback riding. Just a couple of them, but some guys had some rough turns here tonight.
All right. Well, Brian Bain in the bareback riding, and we talk about this event all the time. He gets his feet down. You know what he hit on that rigging. Holy cow.
Watch
I
this
think we have
replay.
another angle.
Watch him twist when he hits here. Right here.
In the face.
I mean, that'll make you sing
In the
soprano, buddy.
Oh.
I mean, that's all I got to say about that. Okay,
Isaac
the saddle
Diaz.
bronc riding, it ain't over till it's over. You think, well, the bronc riding, that's pretty easy on you. Well, talk to Isaac Diaz, Florida bronc rider. He won first or
I'm telling
second
you,
round.
he rattled the rope and chutes.
Y'all heard it down there on
I was
the other-
standing, leaning on the panel, y'all, and he hit so hard that the whole row went. But this
Okay,
really
now,
bad. Ooh.
Wapola! I'll do this again.
Nice and slow here.
Okay. On the end of your arm, and this is OMG on the text. That is being brought from left field.
Yes.
And you know what? The helmet for your little Wyoming bull rider, it was a really nice thing.
Wasn't it a good thing?
He'd
for
have
tonight?
had, but there's a dentist in Las Vegas that's pissed off.
He just lost a lot of business right there, didn't he, huh?
Yeah. I mean, okay, never
We
mind.
only have one dentist in Wyoming, but he'd have liked that, I'm sure. Yeah. Does your dog, cat, horse, and you. It's a group deal on that. Donnie, this question has come in, and I want you to see if you can. What's your take on the young riderless bucking program? And I'm not sure, but I thought you might know what that is.
Okay, well, let's talking about training bucking
bulls.
bulls, bucking horses, and they use an electronic dummy, not a live dummy. I know there's somebody out there would have thought
Neil
that.
Gay didn't believe in it. He believed in a live dummy.
We
didn't
had
he?
live dummies. He had two of them, And
He had Pete and Donnie.
Pete and Donnie, Pedro and Donaldo. Yeah, you're up. It didn't matter how many he brought in.
Was no ever an answer?
Shut up, Dan.
Was no ever an answer to Neil Gay?
Are you kidding me? I'm going, how many more? And he's going, get on that bull now. Okay. Well, I think it's really good. The difference, and I'm going to tell you straight out, the bulls are not tougher today than they were 25 years ago. And I'm talking about the rank bulls, the really, really outstanding bulls. There were 10 or 15 bulls out of the 100 that are at this year's NFR that I couldn't have rode, with both hands and legs lashed down. Really ranked bulls. Same 10 in a year. But the difference is the bottom end. Yes. There's not a really a day off unless one of these bulls here just has an off day, which that does happen. But
just
these
like that
dummies,
bull, doesn't that bull usually turn back? That whopped him in the head today.
That bull spun to the right the first night, and the only reason that he jerked him down and hit him, they rode him the other day the first time he was out, turned back to the right in the gate. He just jumps out, and if you watch that, you could see he was fixing to go to the right, and the bull changed his mind in midstream, and Clayton just kind of cheated over just a hair.
Yeah, and I was just enough that bull.
And that bull went, okay, bud.
Gotcha.
And he just jumped. All he did was jump forward,
Gotcha.
but he's sitting on his pockets and on the end of his arm, and there ain't but one place to be, and that's looked like a hood ornament on a Ram truck.
Yep.
So that's where he went.
Okay.
But anyway, the riderless bucking program is good for rodeo, and I tell you, Billy James had $1 million bucking bull futurity over at Mandalay Bay all this week, and somebody won $500,000 after they bought a calf, might have even been an embryo. They raise these bulls, they put these bucking dummies on them, and buck them as yearlings and then 2-year-olds, and they can win a bunch of money. We get a lot of people who otherwise wouldn't know anything about rodeo. We are able to advance our sport, I think, get people in with money, because that's not a cheap deal to get in. It's like buying you a racehorse.
But a lot of they don't even have to take care of them. You don't have to keep
them.
They
you don't have to have a truck and trailer. You don't have to have a ranch.
They haul them to the contest for you. They buck them as calves. They
Billy
get them ready
James
for
exclusive
you.
genetics.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
go
a
ahead
good
and
deal.
give it.
It's a good deal.
It really is. I think it helps rodeos. It's no different than the roping dummies and everything that has an opportunity to be able to introduce someone to the rodeo business
that would not be
otherwise
right.
wouldn't have a chance.
Yeah, no, I think it's good.
Very good.
Yeah, I like that.
As you know, tonight they crowned the average winners as well as the world champions. And so what we've done,
I
we've
hate
put a
that
little
word.
I know.
Average winners.
Yep, I know.
Average winner.
You're not average if you win the 10-header here, are you?
The winners
You're a little above average.
You're way above average.
This is the next best buckle to the gold buckle is an average buckle.
Yep.
Since you and I got 8, I can tell you that I cherish mine of the couple that I won more than the world buckles.
Well,
and so instead
I'll
of
tell you,
because I beat the 14
right.
baddest asses in the business. There you go.
When you win the world, you've competed all year against all the people. But
and
you
I
get
could
here,
walk by them and go, yeah, buddy.
There's, it was a big deal for Fred this year. It's his last national finals, Fred Whitfield and stuff. But I think there's 3 of us tied for 4 average wins in the calf roping, and he was the last one roping that had a chance. Somebody else is going to have to come catch up to us now. But I think he was the only one that still roping this year that had a chance to break our tie. But we've got 4 average wins, and we were talking about it the other night after the show, and he said, those average wins used to not mean that much to me till I rope against these guys every year, and it means a lot.
I'll tell you an old war story NFR thing with me when we get one of our guests out here.
Okay, so let's just call it these guys won the National Finals Rodeo. Then let's take a
Finals
look
champs.
at
they won the
champs.
toughest rodeo
You'll
in
ever win.
the world that you could ever possibly win. And in
One
the
look at
bareback
each of these.
riding,
One look
how
at
about
each.
this? Champion of the world, Casey Field. This guy. He showed. It's got to be really depressing for JR and some of those young bareback riders. This guy is so much better than everybody else right now. It's not even funny. Guess what? It's just the thing that you got to deal with.
Did he win average last year?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, this guy's phenomenal.
Les Shepperson in the steer wrestling. He actually made one boo-boo all week. He bulldogged great. But what helped him also, that's an equine athlete of the year. That's a steer wrestling horse of the year. To win the average and have the steer wrestling horse of the year in the same year, that's kudos time too.
Well, I told him he's coming walking down the hall in the tunnel down there, and I told him, I said, tell you, Daddy, I said, hello. I'm really proud for him.
Team roping, this isn't the first average buckle Clay O'Brien Cooper's got. Chad Masters and Clay O'Brien, the only team to catch 10 steers. And tonight, Clay O'Brien, he lost the world championship by, I think, $1,100. He ropes a leg last night. If he roped 2 feet, he wins the world championship. Hadn't been here in 4 years. What a remarkable win.
Saddle bronc riding. We missed the go-round winner. Well, now you're going to get to see it. Cody DeMoss. Yeah, hello, Louisiana. Hot sauce DeMoss. I mean, this guy, he's got a mustache that you can spin on the end. He's a cowboy through and through. Missed a world title a time or two, but that doesn't diminish your cowboy skills. This guy won the National Finals Rodeo going away.
And took it to him. Adam Gray, second time, maybe third time in the National Finals. Big pressure run tonight. Had his calf a little bit slower, and the ticket was, I said all night, if he jerks him down, he doesn't win the average. He holds the slack, turns him around. Now right here, this is what you rope your whole life for. He misstrings him the first time, and when he ties him, he knows Justin Moss can come back and beat him, but it's in the books. Adam Gray, one of the best horses in the business, a good kid. He wins the average in the calf roping.
Oh, boy, barrel racing.
The only one.
The only one that gets around him. I want you to watch her hold this horse off of the barrels. And if some of you people in here, if you ladies are barrel racers, and it's no different in the barrel race it is in the bull riding or the calf roping. The toughest thing you ever have to face is whenever all you got to do is get around all three and leave them up. All you got to do is make the whistle. Yeah. All you got to do is catch them. Yeah. Oh, God, I'm telling you.
That's the hardest, but I tell you what, she made a point this week because there were some good horses hit multiple barrels, and Brenda Mays stayed off of them, and congratulations to the Black Ride.
All right, boy, good horse she rides. Bull riding.
What about this boy? Did he go up tonight?
Hello, Texas. We've had Bo Schroeder on a couple of times. His dad's here. Used to ride bulls. I mean, Bo had no choice, but just bear down. I mean, he's almost bucked off. He does something that he's really not known for. He had to do a little shuffling, a little hustling.
He did. His right foot was way behind him.
Bull tried to drop him down in the well, and and he knew. I mean, he went in the lead in the average. If he makes the whistle, he's going to win the average. But he knows that.
Let me ask you something. He was bucked off 2 times.
Yeah.
In my books, right?
Absolutely.
He rode him 8 seconds. He rode him past to here. He never weakened. The bull had him bucked off at about 7-8. And if he looks out at 7-8 or he gives up, he gets bucked off and he may not win the average. That's what they're not doing anymore. He refused to get bucked off.
Well, and you see a little bit of the change into the guard in all of the events. Yes. Bo Schroeder, he's one of those guys that are, they're coming down the road, and you're not going to get to the national finals. You're not going to win a world title by riding pretty good. You're going to have to put it all out there every time, and Bo Schroeder does, and congratulations to him. First, to win the average at the NFR the first time you come, how tough is that to do?
That's tough.
And you know what? About that.
He said last night, sitting right here, remember? He said, this is the difference between May and December. During Beaumont, they took him to talk to a bunch of 6th graders. He said, I just froze up in front of 300 kids. I couldn't say my name. I couldn't answer a question. And he came here twice. The second time, he was a lot better. He was a lot more relaxed. Yep. Donnie talked to him about his riding. His riding was more relaxed. He knew he had to make the whistle to win the average. That is the changing of the guard. It's the mental game of bull riding.
And it's all about winning. It doesn't matter how much talent you have. It doesn't matter what your station in life is. Doesn't matter what your sponsor's name is.
No.
You have to slide up on your rope and make the frickin' whistle.
Hey, they always told me that from here down, everybody's kind of the same. You compete from here down, but you win from here up. That boy proved it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Great job by him. Give these guys a hand. Good job on the tapes tonight, guys. We're going to bring out this young man. It's Saturday night, and everybody is out and running wild and doing stuff. And this young bull rider, we wanted him to come by and see us this week. He's had a tough finals, Donnie, but I want you to talk about that with him when he gets out here. Make him feel welcome. Tate Stratton is here in the house tonight. Bull rider, yes.
All right.
Come on.
I'll let you sit over here by Bo.
Tate Stratton is in the house tonight, and the NFR is over, and you can tell by that look on his face. He is.
He's looking forward to his own bed at home. I can tell you that.
That's no joke. I mean, when you're out here, I mean, you can get enough in Vegas in 3 days, much less 15 days, which will be how long I've been here when we leave tomorrow morning. And much less, doesn't matter if you're having win 150,000 out of here, or whether you win the amount that I did, which is a big goose egg. But it's just bull riding rodeo. It's feast or famine, and man, I'm awful skinny right now, so I apparently need to go to feasting.
This is the year, during the year, we saw you win Clovis and several other things. Coming into this National Finals Rodeo, tell us, coming in, how you felt here, Tate. This is your third NFR.
I felt amazing. I mean, it was one of those things that I come in here trying to work to prepare myself the absolute best that I could, that I thought I could. My first year that I came here, I was more physically prepared than mentally. Whenever I was finished after 10 days, they could have run 10 more head in there, and I would have been fine climbing on every single one of them. Wasn't sore. I was expecting that whole abuse that everybody talks about. I felt great after 10 of them. Didn't have as good a time out here as I'd like to have, but it was one of those things that mentally I wasn't as prepared. Well, last year, I slacked on one side and was better on the other. I was more mentally prepared than I was physically. I felt a little bit more of the abuse. I felt a little bit more of the fatigue than I did the first year. This year, I worked to try to make sure that I was as physically and as mentally prepared as I could possibly be. Apparently, somehow, I came in here on top of the world, felt amazingly blessed. The Lord blessed me with an amazing year. I had more fun rodeoing this year than I've ever had before. My wife got to go with me a good bit more. She got to go to a lot of the places that I'd always talked about, that she always got mad at me because she couldn't be there with me, all that stuff. So it was one of those things that coming into here I felt great. And every single night, even up through the night, I felt awesome. It was one of those things that, you come in here, you can't come in here holding anything back. You've just got to give it your all. And as long as I was giving 110% and giving all glory to the man upstairs, I knew it all worked itself out. Well, turned itself out that at the end of it, I'm still walking, I'm healthy, and I'm blessed, and I can't complain.
Exactly right. And Donnie, I've got his round 10 tonight. Let's take a look at the effort for tonight here.
Well, he's got he has a Frontier Rodeo bull tonight. That's the company that I represent, and dadgum, this is a really good bull right here. And I'm sitting there thinking, Cody, Tate, you get around the corner, and I'm thinking, perfect. I've done that about 4 times this week. You're in perfect position. How in the hell did he buck you off?
It was something that I talked to Trey Benton, and Trey got on the first time that he was out, and Trey said, he kind of shoots, he blows and hits that corner, and he just welled me. I said, oh, heck, him being away from my hand, I can kind of just sit up on him, get around there, hit that corner, and I thought, this is money. This right here is about to be some fun. And I kicked loose with my outside foot, kind of went to going to him, and at one moment he kind of moved out where he had me out just a hair, right just before I go off in the well. And yet that same moment I pushed, and that was exactly what he was wanting. He just shifted sideways at the exact moment that I pushed. So, yeah, it's one of those deals that I made too big a move over there and just went ahead and got thirsty. So
now, I promised him earlier in the week that I wasn't going to tell any Aggie jokes. College graduate, Texas A&M. I still don't know why you're riding bulls for a living. Here's a guy that goes to school, he's on the honor roll. But guess what? In bull riding, and you and I have begun to have some talks about it, it's not what you know, where you been. Bulls can't read your resume. It's one jump at a time, and you've overthought the whole process. But guess what? The more times you come back to the national finals, the more opportunity that you have. Everybody that will say that would or could say anything negative about your week at the NFR is some of those people who've never been. And bull riding is not natural for anybody. There ain't nothing natural about it. You can't overthink it. And you don't know why some things happen or don't happen. The one war story that I was going to tell, I rode 9 out of 10 twice. And the first time I rode 9 out of 10, I got a bull called Walter on Saturday night. And I remember I had my brand new special handmade green satin shirt, my little green chaps. And, boy, I thought I was pretty. Had my little bowl haircut, and
I'm guessing this was before the nasty neck roll.
Yeah, actually it was. It was a year before. Yeah. Well, I ride a bull called Walter at Kalispell, Montana, at the end of August. Got some Montana folks in here? Yeah. Well, how many ever tried to ride a bull at the end of August in a damn snowstorm?
That's why they're still here. They can't get home.
Okay. Well, anyway, I rode this stupid bull at Kalispell, and I won third place, won $300. I mean, just got jerked around. I mean, he was a nasty bull. He was an eliminator. We put together the eliminator pin this year, and old Walter's in the eliminator pin. I ridden 9 out of 10, and I got this dog. And, I mean, of all of the 8 world titles that I won, somebody can probably Google it somewhere or another. I don't know how you do that, but you can. And the longest hang-up at the NFR besides Tough Hedeman one year, I got more publicity out of bucking off and hanging up to Walter that year. And, you know, it cost me from riding all 10. And you don't know why things like this happen. I rode him once, ought to be able to ride him again. That's not so. And, you know, I wanted to say publicly that being asked to come on a public show in Las Vegas after you had a horrific week of bull riding, and to be able to have a smile on your face like Tate Stratton has, and to know that he's blessed by the man upstairs, that he's healthy and he's going to be able to enter Denver. Guess what? You're the world champion and in the lead. 2 days. The book's closed for Denver in 3 days from now. And so everybody's all even again. So, you know.
You know what I asked him, Donnie, too, back there? Because, you know, a guy at this ability and at this level of the game, you just don't ever foresee somebody bucking off 10 head in a row. And I asked him, I said, when do you think was the last time, if ever, you've ever bucked off 10 in a row?
No way he can think of it.
He said, I don't think I've ever you can go back as far as you want. I bet you $1,000 he's never bucked off 10 in a row. When a snowball starts at the top, remember it's a mountain of snow at the bottom. Sometimes you just can't stop it. But like you said, guess what? The interviews are tonight. The phone calls are on Monday. Your local newspapers and the sports news interview on Tuesday and Wednesday. They done forgot who won it anyway.
Everybody's even. And the thing about it is what I want to stress, and I would like you people to pay off Tate Stratton. You know, you don't get here but one way, and that's being one of the 15 highest money winners, the best in the world in the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association. And it doesn't matter whether you win first or last. Everybody that's here are people that are worthy of looking up to in your respective events.
And then you get somebody that's been through that, shows their character, and shows up tonight to sit down and talk to us about it. He doesn't have to do it. I mean, you could be throwing stuff in the streets. You could be tearing taxi doors off and people wouldn't think nothing of it. You know, because of the week
That's
you
what
had.
Joe did.
That's what I did. Yeah. If I'd had that kind of week, there'd been ropes all down Las Vegas Boulevard. I'd have threw rope. You know how they throw them in the stands? I'd have been throwing them at people on the side of the road. So that shows the character you got. You're healthy. That's the main thing for next year. A lot of guys are going to be having operations. A lot of guys are going to be hurt and sore. We expect Denver to roll around like it did before with you healthy, wealthy, and ready, and next year we'll change it.
College graduate, NFR bull rider, Boyd Gaming ambassador, Tate Stratton.
Johnny Football's team.
Tate Stratton.
Got a pretty good quarterback down there, too.
Now hopefully we can beat the Sooners.
Thank you, Tate, for coming. It's good to see you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good job.
You know how much nerve that took?
Yep.
I mean, you know, we've invited a lot of guests on, and some of them had their dress blowed up over their head a time or two, and they, have good excuses and didn't show up. Tate Stratton showed up. I'm proud of him.
It's all about character.
Joe, I want to go to talk about tie-down roping segment. Bob and Boyd are going to be out here in just a second. We all this week we talked, and we had them all here. We had Tough Cooper, we had Cliff Cooper, we had Corey Solomon. But Mr. Bynum, young Mr. Bynum, has had a phenomenal week here, a phenomenal 10 days, and he's kind of been under the radar to us at least. But
I talked to him just a minute ago on the way back over here, and all I wanted to tell him he called and said, "What do you think?" You know.
I just was looking at that question. Don't go to it yet.
Wait a minute, we got a question. It says, when am I going to start wearing a vest? You guys could be the Vesketeers.
The Vesketeers, yes.
Joe, I don't know what Miller's problem is, but the reason I wear these vests, my mother-in-law made all these, so I'm a good son-in-law. I have to wear them.
Hey, I've always been just a little bit different, and I'm just going to stay a little bit different. I'm going to stay out of that. Now,
well, they'd have to get an awfully big shower curtain to get one to fit.
Hey, one thing about it, if a vest fit me, it could be somebody else's coat.
That no lie or tent, yeah.
Mark, if Mark
now
back
you
there.
want to get, yeah. Oh. Well, I ain't going to say nothing about them high toilets and low toilets you can't get up on. Y'all want to know the real reason he pulled his butt muscle? He was on a tall toilet and he fell off of it. That's what really happened.
Well, you had the advantage. My feet don't touch the ground.
I think we have a picture of that. No, we don't have it. We don't. No. That's at the police station. I want to... Mark, could you pull up Mr. Bynum's run tonight in the tie-down roping?
Bradley,
because
Bradley.
Before we got
he finally made. Listen, this guy's been trying to make the finals for about 2 or 3 years. He's come close. His sister made the finals. He came out, watched her run barrels. I talked to him in the middle of the week, and I watched him when they roped the calves through last week, you know, and he's got this horse he trained, and he's really proud of, and he's won a lot of money on him. But he's long-strided, and he didn't really gather very fast, and he looked to me like it wasn't going to work. So he had this other horse, belongs to E.J. Roberts, and I told him during about third round, I said, you know, your pride's going to cost you a lot of money if you don't change horses. And he said, well, I really like, and he went into a spiel about how proud he was of him. So I backed off and didn't say anything else. And 2 nights later, I get a text. Yeah, shocked. 2 nights later, I get a text from E.J. Roberts that said he changed horses, thanks. And he wins about $65,000 in 3 nights. And here's the reason why.
Let's take a look at it. Roll it, guys, if you can.
Okay, this horse is short-strided, quick, stops right in front of the chute. He pulls and all the way through the flank, but then he stops. See, he never moves that calf anymore. You don't want a horse dragging a calf trying to tie him. That's the worst thing in the world. And all the noise and action right behind that horse, he never acknowledged any of it.
Unbelievable. I don't know why they don't listen to you. I mean, you know, you just look at it. You watch Tough Cooper's horse. Yep. That little roan mare. That dude never pulled him away.
No, and after that one night, I said, Tough, you might need to go do something. You know, that they don't rope on that mare at all, ever. They run 1 or 2 calves on her for the finals, and I said, Tough, you need that mare. She's not running. You need her to run. He said, well, you know, I don't know if they'll let me do it. And I said, you're paying them a lot of money. You tell them you're going to do it. And they went out there and run 1 calf. Never throw their rope. All they did, I said, don't even rope him. Just make her run and catch him and just fall him to the back end and put her up. That's all you got to do.
Just to free her up a little bit.
Just to free her up. He comes back, and the next rounds when he had the calf that ran so hard in the 8th round, and he reached, you know, if the mare quits running, he don't win 3rd, 4th in the round that night. Just like Bradley Bynum, if he doesn't get on this horse where things are quick, fast, and accurate, he doesn't win $60,000 in 3 rounds. Yep. Good kid. He'll be here again. But I told him tonight, I said, you learned something about tying your horse up, didn't you? Don't forget it during the year.
You know, and what you were saying, what I learned and it was just reaffirmed, you know, with the conversation that you and Cody O were having last night. To watch Cody O, you know, jump out there, you know, Boyd and Bob's got him pumped up, and he's feeding off the electricity in the room, and he just, you know, everybody said, well, he's probably going to quit. You know, him and Fred, they're going to, you know, they're fading away into the sunset, and he just jumps out there and kicks.
He's not
butt.
through. You know,
I loved it.
Cody's not but 39, 9. You know, and
just a kid.
Well, I mean, for him roping, Fred's 44 or 5, and I was 42 or 3. You know, so I mean. But if you just would watch, when Bob and Boyd go to talking about Cody in that box, and they go to playing that music, poor Pearl, Pearl's his horse. That poor winch is about to jump out of the box. And there's a reason.
When he comes in there, I was going to ask
you. He blasts in there.
Everybody else rides in there.
No,
they're
yes, sir, not him.
They're being really nice and everything. He blows in there like the Tasmanian devil.
Poor Jimmy Powers, he's going to get smoked down. He barely gets the gate open, and here comes Cody. And when he spins around, when he's biting on that string, I'm telling you, when he looks over at me, I'm glad he's on that side of the fence. And he goes to spurring Pearl. You know what I mean? She's about to jump out of the box. But shows what a good horse she is. When they backs up in the box and everything
don't wiggle.
Never moves. You know, but that's how you feed off of the momentum that these guys give you. I heard every word they ever said to me in the box. The whole time they announced, whenever I could hear every word they said until I nodded my head. And if you can listen and you got the mental fortitude to stay outside of the box or the realm of riding and roping until they crack that latch or until you nod your head, that's what winners do to continue to win.
Very good, Joe. This question that has come in, the only two that I know that will answer honestly is you two on this. So it says, will Houston and Calgary rodeos ever be PRCA sanctioned?
Not unless the PRCA champions don't go to them, and it's just a money deal. I mean, if you want to be a
Donnie, let's stop. Let's say for a lot of people, let's say why they're not sanctioned first.
Go ahead, Joe.
Please,
it's your turn.
I'm going to say there's two or three things involved at Houston. It was a TV issue, it was a money issue, it was a final day issue.
Cinch and Wrangler.
And then I was going to say, but it came down to the final deal of sponsors. A little bit of a push-pull there deal that they thought they could push through the committee, and that committee stepped up and decided to do something different. They kept all the contestants. They made the money good. They didn't have to go with either way. They went right down the middle. I don't think they're the same as Calgary. I don't know if they would maybe ever come back, but I say Calgary never will.
Well, the only thing that I was disappointed in, the PRCA to me, I've grown up in it. My dad started the Mesquite Rodeo when I was 5 years old, and he was partners with Jim Shoulders. And so I was around. I've nothing but RCA, PRCA. I never went to an amateur rodeo, ever. And an amateur rodeo is not one that doesn't pay money. That's just one that's not sanctioned by the PRCA.
Right.
I have a lot of loyalty, and, sometimes I think, gosh, it's misplaced because they act like our government a lot of times. They're pretty stupid. But pure fact is if I'm the world champion cowboy, world champion bull rider back in the day, and Houston says to the PRCA, no, we don't want to go by Euros, we want to do this or we want to do that, I would have been, okay, if everybody works really hard. But at the end of the day, if they couldn't get an agreement and a sanction, then as a PRCA cowboy, I'd have told Houston that, go get him, go get the next best bull rider because I ain't coming.
See, and I'm going to be honest, I'm the opposite. For $100,000, I'll rope in that parking lot out there with no fence because I grew up on the other side of it. I grew up in the amateur circuit. I grew up trying to win to make it. I didn't know anything about pro rodeo, honestly, till I got a permit, 1 year and filled it and went.
Simply philosophy.
It's just a different deal, and I think where they've got the guys.
But I would have been like Cody Ohl. I would have been like Cody Ohl. I would have said, "You dumbass."
Wait a minute. I witnessed that
whenever you're
tonight.
talking to the commissioner, I would have said, "Hey, you should have got it approved."
If y'all were here the other night, last night with Cody Ohl, you heard what he said about it.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you, I witnessed it firsthand tonight.
His hands were shaking. He was serious.
I walked around the corner tonight, and I heard him. I heard his voice, and it was a little – it wasn't – but and I thought, I better check on my boy and make sure somebody squared off. And all it was he had Carl, and he said, look, he said, I said it last night on Joe's show, and I'm telling you, you promised us the moon, and we got a flashlight. It's time you turn that light up. And he was dead serious when he said it. Now, with guys doing stuff like that, then you eliminate the other side of the path. Nobody wants to go against the association.
Nobody knows to. I mean,
That's right.
It's
but
really hard. In this day and time, it's really hard to be loyal to something that it doesn't seem like that they're loyal back to you.
And that's the feeling the guys are getting right now.
Communication and philosophy.
Yep.
And what Joe is talking about is when he said Carl Stressman.
Yep.
He just happens to be the guy. I don't know why you'd want to be president or the commissioner of the PRCA. Thankless job.
Okay, but that's what he talked about last night, the fact that he was here. Should have grabbed Wayne while he was over there, speaking of Calgary, and answering that. Wayne Brooks was just over there.
That's the reason he left.
He got out of here.
I mean, because it was going to be pro-Calgary.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly, because he works for him. Okay.
I don't have a job at any of them, so hell, I don't care.
Okay, we keep having these we keep having questions coming in, and we appreciate that very much. You guys have talked about this. Quickly, it says, how can I communicate to the NFR committee how inconsistent
and generally bad
the officials have been throughout the 2012 NFR.
Okay,
Signed, Donnie Gay.
You know what?
No, we've talked about it this week.
Yeah.
So people are frustrated. So
let me say
here.
It's and only the contestants that are entered in the individual events really have they vote on them, and they're the only ones that really have the right to bitch about them.
They do, and I'm going to tell you
So the rest of us, we just have to live with it, and if we bet wrong, that's just the deal.
Luke Branquino said it best when it cost him a world championship. He said we voted for him to flag it because he would do the best job that he knew how to do. And it cost him a world championship.
And in the riding events, it's only their opinion. It is only their opinion. So which girl's the prettiest depends on who's looking.
Okay. And because if you relate that to other sports, you guys, if you're upset with the NFL officials, you can write a letter. You can do whatever.
It's about anything. Yeah, you can do it.
Right.
It's not going to matter probably, but you can sure,
Yeah,
say
but
what
we
you want.
appreciate the question. Oh, jeez. Bob and Boyd are here, but you want to answer this, Donnie?
Will Donnie Gay ever let Robbie Hodges land a plane again? They should have said, if you want the real answer, I will not ever let him land my airplane again. Real? Oh, God, he's here. Robbie Hodges in it, Barbara.
It took him 45 minutes to text that right there. That's
Well, he told me he could fly, because he's got this computer thing. And, of course, if you know anything about me, I don't know anything about it. Well, anyway, he's been practicing and stuff. And so, we're flying along, and I'm letting him fly. And I had one of those. Anytime, flying an airplane is not that big a deal. It's kind of like learning how to drive a truck. It's hours and hours of boredom and a few moments of sheer terror.
Yeah.
And if you run through, Fort Campbell firing range, and I'm visiting with somebody in the back seat and Robbie's flying, and you have that oh shit moment.
Yes. let's
Anyway, no, Robbie, you're not landing until you get some more practice.
Yeah. But I will tell you, I've flown with Donnie many times. He's a great pilot. And the moments of terror, we were leaving Oklahoma one night, and there's ice going up the windshield. And, I mean, you're sitting this close. You can't see anything.
And there was ice there even with him blowing all that hot air?
Yes. Ice is going up the window. I said, now that's not good.
Well, I told him, I said, it's really not good because it's not supposed to be here according to the forecast. But,
yeah. When Donnie says, as soon as you see the runway, let me know. Oh, my gosh. It's a what?
What? No, I said.
Point it out, let me know. Oh, my God.
This is going downhill. I hope the FAA is not here because I promise you they're not here to help. I told him, I said, when I'm shooting an approach and it's in the forecast, the weather report at the Lancaster airport, he's trying to catch a flight home. I'm getting him to Lancaster. That's just south of Dallas, and I'm shooting the approach in. You can't see anywhere. It's
anything.
like 300 feet overcast and a half-mile visibility, and it's raining, kind of ugly. And I said, I'm shooting the approach, and I got everything set up. It's all doing like it's supposed to do. Coming around there, and I said, now, when you see the runway, I'm not going to look up off the gauges and everything. I said, just pat me on the leg. Just go like that.
You about to break your leg?
I'm doing really good. I'm thinking
oh!
I am feeling like Sky King. I'm coming down the glide slope, and I'm thinking, man, this is so cool. The only thing I like doing besides rodeo and flying airplanes, I am fired up, and I'm doing this because everybody can't do this, and I'm going, and all of a sudden, my God, he just he went to beating the heck out of my leg, and okay, I got it.
Then he said, "What's that smell?" I said, let's get these two gentlemen out here that have made this.
You told me you weren't going to tell everything.
Well, you said my head was there for the whole trip. You said it would be all right. These two guys, I'm so glad they're here tonight to talk with us and to change the subject. Bob Tallman and Boyd Polhamus are here, the best of the best of the best. Gentlemen, there they are right over there. Yes, indeed. My golly, look at y'all.
Victrola and his sister.
Starting that striptease early, aren't you, huh?
Hi, Boyd. That was crummy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, I like it.
My big sister.
We could walk through that, because those averages mattered a little, didn't they?
Now when he's ugly, he's going to feel better about it.
Here we go again.
Yeah, this is something that brings Donnie Gay great difficulty. But look me in the eye and go, Boyd, you were right.
Watch how much better I am. Boyd, you were right.
There you go. Sir. Very good.
He's turned over a new leaf.
See, the funny thing was...
Look. Hey.
I thought he was going to flip off YouTube.
That wasn't the finger I thought was coming.
Right.
Oh, it's a family show. Come on.
You're on YouTube.
Yeah. It's a family show when you were just shitting your pants laying in an airplane.
That's the real deal. That's all I can tell you.
Well, that's about as family as it gets, ain't it, Bobby?
You know what Bill Cosby said? Two things Bill Cosby said. Number one, when he got in a wreck, his mother always told him you got to wear clean underwear. In case you get in a wreck, you go to the hospital. He said, why would you wear clean underwear? First thing you do is say, oh, shit. The next thing you do is shit.
You had the second part.
Yeah.
Bleep, bleep,
you did your
bleep,
job.
Bleep.
Nobody sat by me on the commercial flight the rest of the way home. Yeah.
You knew Skip Gatlin and Lana Mangold.
Do you not know about the two trips?
Listen to me.
The one they landed in the middle with you in them.
Yeah.
And the Colleen's tried to shoot us down.
Oh, boy, they're ugly down there.
No, they flew up. That BS you see on Top Gun where they fly beside you, that's not wrong.
There's something to be said about our military. I mean, these guys can come right up beside your airplane. You're poking along, 175 miles an hour or something. These guys are going 400, and they come right up there by you, and then they put on the reversers. They look like praying mantises.
And then they
with
point
machine
at
guns.
you.
Yeah.
I was tapping Skip Jet. You talk about slapping. I was slapping him, and he said, man, I'm busy. I said, no, they're busy. We were working Brenham, Texas during, Stephenville after, trying to win a Dodge truck. And they'd come on, and they politely said, you're in airspace. You need to divert, go whatever number, whatever. And I said, hey, Skip, they talking to us? Ain't no problem. We're almost out. We're almost out. We wasn't almost out enough. One on one side, one on the other, and one idiot flying us in the middle. He said they won't shoot us. How the hell do you know they won't shoot us? They're on both sides of us.
First time.
Hey, no kidding.
They scared me to death.
Hey, buddy, after 2001, they will too shoot you.
Yeah, thank goodness it's before that.
You'll appreciate this, being a good pilot. I'm flying from Uvalde to Rosenberg, okay? With Skip's flying the plane. And I'm in college. I just announced the fill line steer roping and team roping in Uvalde, and we had a short round for a college rodeo. And so it's me.
Same pilot.
Same pilot. Skip and Lanham, and I'm sitting in the back seat. I don't know what the aircraft is, but it's not very big. And as we're going along, all of a sudden, Lanham is really quizzing Skip a lot. Lanham is not comfortable, okay? Well, we're flying through San Antonio where the Air Force base is, and they route us and tell us they're doing maneuvers. They route us. So he doesn't have enough fuel. And as we're flying over, all of a sudden this plane goes chunk, 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 like that. And I'm sitting behind Lanham, and Lanham goes like that at Skip. So Skip reaches down, does a couple of things like this.
Switch gas tanks.
Yes, he did. Okay, you would know. He switched gas tanks, okay? All of a sudden the plane starts running again.
Switch gas tanks again.
Yeah. So Lanham is
only
like,
two.
Lanham is just, like this. Well, we're about 20 minutes from landing in Rosenberg, when all of a sudden the plane goes like that again.
No more gas tanks.
No more gas tanks. But I really think that Skip is pulling the funny on Lanham. I'm thinking he switched when Lanham wasn't looking back to the other gas tank, and he's wanting to freak Lanham out. okay, which is working, okay, which is working. And me, I'm giggling. I'm in the back seat. I'm laughing. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Lanham Mangold's freaking out. Skip, he's funny. And then all of a sudden I see Skip do this. Look out both windows for a place to land. There's a rice field down below us, okay? And those rice fields have terraces in them, okay? But when you're 1,500 feet above ground, it doesn't look like the ground's moving that fast. It doesn't look, and so we're going down, and we're not starting the plane now. Skip is looking for a place to land.
Has it gotten quieter yet?
No, I was still laughing because I'm
talking about the motor.
No, the motor, there was no motor anymore.
That's what I mean.
So and this is a testament to Lanham Mangold as a competitor. Because as we're coming down, I'm kind of laughing, but then I see that ground going faster and faster and faster. Right, and then when we hit that rice field, those levees are like speed bumps. I mean, and so when we hit it, the plane goes like this, and it lands, and it lands on it. He does like a ton of damage to the landing gear on this plane. But when the plane finally stops, Lanham jumps out, grabs his rope bag, and goes, "We got to find somebody to get us to the rodeo." All we could see was this light, and it was probably 150 yards away, so we start going to this light. We get to this light, no disrespect intended to any demographic or nationality, but when we get there, when we get to the place, there's a drunk Mexican, and he's got a 1968 station wagon with the back windows duct taped shut, okay? So we get in it, we're trying to get to Rosenberg for the short round, and he's driving it, and as we're going through Rosenberg, the town, he looks at the oil pressure and realizes that the oil pressure is bad, and he wants to stop and check the oil. So, to which I'm in the short round of the bareback ride, which I already know I'm supposed to announce the rodeo too, and I ain't going to make it. But we offer him $50 to just not worry about his oil and keep going to the college rodeo.
You really liked his car.
We get to the college rodeo. I have left my gear with Houston Powers, okay? Bad decision. So I get there. Houston, where's Houston? He's got my gear. Where's Houston? He went back. He didn't make the short round. Now, do you think he'd leave it with another bareback rider or something? No, he leaves it with a barrel racer he's hitting on. A girl named Julie Pilat. Exactly. No, I don't ever get it. So anyway, but that was the first time I ever flew in an airplane. First time.
Donnie, I don't know if you can tell this story, but it's the best airplane story where you had to go to the bathroom and you came to and somebody was Can you clean that up? That is so
bad. I don't know if I can clean that up enough.
Don't think you should try.
Well,
you can't tell that. Let me.
It's a good story, but reckon we ought to get back to the rodeo. Anything wrong with that?
Yeah, we might ought to, because if you tell that one, he's going to tell one on Billy Bump.
No, I ain't. Because his dad's still mad at us for getting them pilots up at 2 o'clock in the morning to fly 32 miles.
It was a black American Express, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, but when we said go to Cheyenne so we can make it a good flight and have more fun. Oh, it was a jet, okay, a Queen Air. King Air?
I said earlier that this new changing of the guard, some of these young guys, they were nicer and smarter than we were when we were that age.
They must not have the cash we had, because we did some stuff that cost a lot of stupid money.
Well, they make great war stories. I just wish we could make them pay.
And we're here. Praise God. We're here. Because I'm going to tell you what. You too, I bet you.
Well, he said he takes care of drunks and fools, and we would have been maybe in both categories.
Yes.
To some degree.
Got a lineup of them up here.
To some degree.
But you know what? If it wasn't for the rodeo business, we wouldn't have got to do those things. We'd have been normal people and hang around rodeo guys just to hear these kind of stupid stories.
The only thing, I swear that, this may be stupid to some people, but the only thing that I have ever really liked at all is rodeoing and flying airplanes. And I started when I was in high school, going to rodeos with Mahan, 6810 Tango, the old brownie, and Since the day I got out of high school, I swear to God, I'd been on a vacation the rest of the time.
Oh, me too.
And it's been a while, yeah.
All of us. We wouldn't have made good normal people. You either. You either. And can you imagine this guy normal?
I'm waiting for Bob to write a book.
Bob said he was going to write a book, but he was waiting for everybody that he knew to die. And he wouldn't get in trouble.
There's going to be some people go to jail.
The title of it's going to be "You've Got to Understand." Okay. Because I'm going to tell you, whenever Tallman utters those words and he leans forward and tilts his hat back and goes, "You've got to understand."
Now,
get ready. You're fixing to hear a story.
The title would have to be "You Got to Be Shitting Me." But you know what? How many people in the audience tonight?
I'll buy it.
How many people in the audience tonight have ever used that term?
Come on, be honest.
Most of you. Do you have any idea of where that term was coined or phrased the first time? No.
Pretty close.
But I've seen him do other things that have made him said that before. Do you know?
Tell us, Bob.
All right. Well,
the eagle that scoops up the frog.
I said that the other night when Boyd tried to fill me full of those stats.
Well, it actually all happened during the Civil War. That's when it started.
You were there.
No, but I heard the story. It's been passed on from father to son and son to son.
He was Abe Lincoln's driver.
Are you sure? I go back a ways now. You sure you want to hear this story? I'll try to give you the short version.
Okay. Impossible.
Well, this is how it happened. And, it was the blue against the gray and father against son and brother against brother. And it was all happening, man. And there was this regiment of blue down there in the South, and they were just shooting each other to death. We are on YouTube, right? I really got to be careful how I do this.
Oh, it's all right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So it was the blue against the gray and father against son and brother against brother. And they were shooting everything up, big cannons, little cannons, rifles, bayonets, just wiping people out. Fighting over freedom, trying to get away from the Queen, and chicken fried steak. They had it then. So all of a sudden, somebody come riding through hollering, "The war is over, the war is over." And everybody went, "Oh, thank God the war is over." So they went to gathering up all their people, heading back to the north, and the guys who were in the north that lived in the south, they gathered their people there heading to the south. This one guy, he gathered his troops, and there they were. You've seen the pictures of them in the Civil War movie things and in museums. And there's a guy with his leg shot off, and he got a post on it, and he got a bandage around one eye, this deal, and a bayonet thing here, and he's walking on a wooden crutch. I mean, they were shot to stuff. Bad. So as he's coming out of the South, he said, "Boy, my men took a ass whooping here, and I got to get them a little R&R and get them healed up because we're going to have to walk all the way back to New York City." Very smart northern lieutenant in blue. So he got to looking around, and they come out of the fog and the smoke, and there was a little house over there, and he went over and he said, knocked on the door. Lady come to the door. My God, there's about 15 people in a 300-square-foot house. He said, "Ma'am, I know it's been father against son and brother against brother, but the war is over. We're trying to get my regiment back to the north. Could you take one of my men and heal him up and then send him on later?" The lady says, "Well, you can see I have a very small home, and we have a lot of people in here, but yes, sir, I will take your worst wounded." So he looked in the back, and there's that guy with a post on the bottom of his leg and the deal over one eye and a bayonet hole in his deal. He said, "Corporal Cox, come forward. Corporal Cox, come forward." And there he come limping up there, walked just like I do now. And they left Corporal Cox. So he gathered the rest of his troops, and he went to 2 or 3 more houses and left a few. And then they were coming onto this big grassy pasture. And it was beautiful. And in the fog and the smoke, he could see like a 3-story southern mansion.
Short story, I promise.
Short story. And the closer they got to it, it had white columns hanging down. And, boy, it's a beautiful place. 3 stories, a big house. He thought, we rung a bell this time, boys. So the closer he got, my God, there was tapestry in the windows. And the closer he got, it wasn't tapestry. There was them velvet curtains, red and purple and blue with fringe on them. He got up real close, and my Lord, there was some scantily dressed ladies standing in between them curtains. And he got real close, and there was a red light bulb right there on the front door.
Story's getting interesting now.
You're into this and now. And he wasn't in Winnemucca either. So I was raised in Winnemucca. Don't you say nothing. So he got right up there, and he got all the boys up there in the front and got them right around the deal, went and knocked on the door, and here come a lady in, what is that stuff? Lace. Lingerie. Yeah. Lingerie. She stepped up and she said, well, my soldier, what can I do for you? Here he went. I know the war's over and we've been shooting you up. You've been shooting us up. It's been father against son and brother against brother, but the war is over. And he said, my men need some R&R. She said, you come to the right place. So he's looking out on his men, and she said, how many of there are you? And he went back out there and he counted them all, and he said, 21 without cocks. And the lady said, you got to be shitting me.
I can't believe it. He ain't told y'all that before.
Welcome to the Gold Coast Hotel.
Dan Miller, YouTube that, baby.
Oh, baby.
I don't know what Ron White's doing tonight, but we're working at the Gold Coast Hotel.
Oh, boy.
Boyd, when's the first time you heard that story?
Dan?
Probably 20 years ago.
Cloverdale, British Columbia is the first time I heard it. 4 o'clock in the morning. Slack was at 8. It was still funny at 8.
Oh, how about that barrel racing?
Yeah. I guarantee you what.
See what you miss if you don't come here every night? I'm telling you. Oh, it's getting worse. We're out of time here this evening.
Things digress.
What I want to tell you is this show, all these gentlemen that are here on the cameras, that are in the back, that do so much to make this show happen. And I'm so thankful for them, because we're kind of back there in the trenches while Bob and Boyd are doing their things, and people cancel at the last second, and people don't come and they don't show up, and then somebody does. These guys have been absolutely terrific for me. Craig and his gang here. Yep, Jason.
They've made the show. And we want to say thanks to, Montana Silversmith, Wrangler, Golden Tiger, Rodeo Historical Society, everybody that supports national finals tonight. This is our 5th year and
60th show.
Yeah, 6. And when we started, we didn't have all that. We got a lot of people on board now. It's getting bigger and better. But I'm going to tell you just a little real quick. He thanks everybody every night. But Dan Miller's the reason that all this goes together so good. You thank Dan Miller for this. We do all the bullcorn and we do all the funny credit, but Dan Miller's the reason this thing comes together every night.
Well, Joe, what they've done back there, they've put together a little montage of this season's show. So they're going to roll that, and then after that we'll say goodbye and give out some prizes. So this is kind of a look back at season number 5 through show number 60. So, guys, if you've got that back there and you want to roll that, let us have it. Yeah, this is what I do. You didn't know about this.
No.
This is just, look at your glasses.
Good evening
there.
and welcome to the National Finals tonight. And now, here's your host, award-winning television personality, Mr. Dan Miller.
Rodeo is what I do if I hang on tight and make a buck or two.
Let's bring out the stars of our show. In 1985, I got a phone call, and they said, could you fly to Dallas, Texas, and meet Donnie Gay? And I said, who? They said, Donnie Gay. Could you come and meet Donnie Gay? And I said, boy, I would love to do that. The 8-time world champion. Are you kidding? And I sat down and sat in a chair, and I just said, Donnie, how's it going? That's the last I've had to speak for 27 years. Would you welcome 8-time world champion Donnie Gay right here, my buddy.
right, thank you.
How are you?
You know, familiarity breeds contempt. You can tell.
Let's bring out our other co-host, shall we? This guy, besides being also an 8-time world champion, is just one of the best guys I know, and we're honored to have him here each and every year. Would you welcome Joe Beaver to the stage? Joe, come on out here. What do you have?
Hey, I had to. We went through that $600 glasses deal.
Don't be late, got an 8-second ride that just won't wait. My spurs are turning and my hat's on tight. If I hang on, girl, we'll be dancing tonight.
He says, oh, I'd love to come to the Gay Beaver show.
Well, you can tell by the way that I walk, I'm a little bow-legged, my mouth's full of jaw. Legs are shaky and my knees are weak. Dust me off, I'll try again next week. Rodeo is what I do if I hang on tight and make a buck or two. It's what I do. Drive every night from dusk till dawn. I could make a living if I could just hang on. Town to town, everywhere I go. Rodeo, that's all I know. Rodeo is what I do if I hang on tight and make a buck or two. It's what I do. Let's ride.
Greatest watching in the world. 2 places. DFW Airport and a Walmart parking lot. You want entertainment, and it's free.
Fight night tomorrow night, you know.
That's right.
They're a little bowed up around there. You got to watch what you bump into. Donnie, you might need to ask me to walk you home.
At 35 at home, it's still, a thong and halter top in Wyoming.
Everything's burning up. He just watching. I said, turn that thing off, boy.
Rodeo is what I do if I hang on tight and make a buck or two. It's what I do. If things go right when I get home, I'd have a big belt buckle to call my own. Take a break, spend the night with you, but when the weekend comes, I've got a riding to do. The RCA to the NFR, if I could make it to Vegas, I'd be a star. Rodeo is what I do if I hang on tight and make a buck or two. It's what I do.
Move your butt, Joe.
It's what I do. It's what I do.
Hands up.
Hey!
Yes, sir.
Give the guys a hand. Very nice. We thank you all for making this a great season. We'll be sure to do that next year. I'm going to say goodbye to the folks out on YouTube and on television. Thank you for joining us this year. Everybody else stay here. We're going to give away some prizes. Good night to those guys. Thanks for joining us.
It's what I do. Let's ride.
Thank you for watching and attending the show. We hope you enjoyed the presentation of National Finals tonight at the Gold Coast, where all the Cowboys go after the rodeo. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, same time, same place. This has been a presentation of Boyd Gaming. The fun isn't over yet. We invite you to head upstairs for Gary LeFew's legendary Buck and Ball. Live music from the Texas Jam Band featuring members of George Strait's Ace in the Hole Band and local favorite Scotty Alexander. Beer and drink specials, and best of all, no cover charge. We're gonna dance and party till the cows come home at the Buck and Ball.
It's what I do. Let's ride.